We want to welcome you here to another beautiful fall day right here at Method Fields between NC State Men's Club Soccer and Duke Club Soccer. Zach Sawaya here alongside Tyler Counts right here. It's going to be an amazing game today, Tyler. From what I've heard, these are two very good teams coming in. One thing we want to pay attention to, though, is NC State has been a little bit on the bad side of things. So State has recently won against UNCG and tied against Wake Forest and High Point. This is a highly contested match. Duke soccer has been looking great in warm-up so far. Tyler, what should we expect today from an NC State team that has not been performing up to standards compared to last year?
I'm thinking that really from a state team going up against Duke, probably a high level of intensity starting off right off the jump on the game. Looking to see some good attackmen moving the ball up the field and great midfield today. They got to be on point with a good Duke squad out here.
On point for sure, but one thing we have to pay attention to as well is the weather. It's a little bit of a windy day. It's going to be a little bit more preparation in terms of where players are going to be going on the field, how they're going to try to measure where the ball is going to go. How much do you think weather is going to play into this game?
Honestly, looking at it right now with how they've been doing through warm-ups and the movement of the ball with the wind, don't know how much real definition this weather is going to have on the game. I think it's a lot's just going to be on the technical end on passing and just how they set up their passes to each other through the air and long balls and that kind of stuff. So I really don't see weather being a huge factor, though it could play in a little bit towards the.
And definitely one big factor that will play in is veteran leadership. NC State is being led right now by team president Joey DiSerafino. He's been with the team for a very long time. I remember commentating on him last year and things like that. But so talk about this. Why do you think leadership is so important in these club games and in general in just sports games? Because you want to see these leaders step up and really lead this team and do what they need to do to make sure they have a fantastic game.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the leadership into this game, I'm thinking that with his veteran presence on this team, looking for maybe just a solid game from them overall to help lead these younger guys who've just now made the team, made cuts. I know DiSerafino has his younger brother, freshman Drew, who made the team. He's out here tonight, number 4. So just seeing how they can kind of carry this team going on.
All right, that sounds great, Tyler. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on PackTV to commentate today's game between NC State Club Soccer and Duke. We'll be right back. My oh my, Tyler, it is windy here today. We are so excited to bring to you today's match. It's been a long weekend after Hurricane Florence. It's been a long break from sports. We are excited to be here. I'm sure these guys are excited to get back on the field as well. Zach Sawai here alongside Tyler Counts. Tyler, what are you looking forward to today?
Honestly, I'm just looking for a great showing out here by Wolfpack's club soccer team. Not really sure what to expect based on their performance throughout this season so far, but I'm thinking that we'll be looking for a good showing today against Duke.
Expectations exactly are very high. Considering last year, this was a team that did travel to Arizona for championships, and now this year coming in at 1-0-2, it is not looking too bright. But what we can expect today is mainly more effort going into today's game. They want to get back on the right track. I was talking to Joey DiSerafino before the game. He told me he does want to get back on track. He does want to get going here. So the kickoffs is just about to happen, Tyler.
Yep.
So let's see what happens.
Alrighty, sounds good. I would also like to add that listening to the pregame huddle, DiSerafino, the captain senior, was talking about bringing intensity into this game, not getting nervous when you get the ball and not just kicking it out of play, just being technical, real technical intense against this Duke squad.
And play here begins. So far, just a little bit of back and forth passing, nothing too much going on here. Starting goaltender for NC State Soccer today is Austin Bauer. He will be one of the only goaltenders playing in today's game. As for Duke, they will have 2 goaltenders playing. Starting right now for the team is Alex Breslov. He will be starting. He is number 0. And then at the second half, Austin Verissimo will be coming in. That's a beautiful last name, Tyler.
Indeed, very beautiful. Sounds like some Italian stuff, Verissimo.
Verissimo, exactly. And Duke will pressure it through the center field, kicking it right there.
He's looking real technical right now in the middle of the field. Nice little build-up of play.
It is very much right now a patience game, and patience is something that we don't talk about very often. As you know, Tyler, and as a lot of the listeners do know, soccer is not a sport where a lot of things happen, so it's a little bit hard to kind of talk about it. But it's a mind game. It's a patience game, because once they see one little gap, the ball goes up, just like it did right there. So, Tyler, talking about patience, you've played soccer in the past. You know soccer very well. What can we expect from patience playing into this game?
Just making sure that they're not being too quick to make decisions and kind of just being smart and technical. The patience on this game is going to be very important. As you can see, they're kind of playing up a little bit, so just being patient with that and just looking for the right opportunity to strike.
Good pressure right there by Drew DeSerafino, Joey DeSerafino's younger brother. Ball does go out of bounds right there. No, it doesn't.
Actually,
my apologies.
Yeah.
So carrying it right now, that is Jesse Ball.
Back to Drew DeSerafino, and then keep moving it up.
Exactly. Ball being pressured once again there by Duke, and Duke will carry it back in through the middle.
And there's a foul on the play. Looking like that. Oh, indirect free kick right there.
Carried through, pushing through there was Duke. That was Jeffrey Lee. Again, Duke is having a very strong season, and he seems to be one of the faster guys playing on the team today. A pass back to pretty much no one right there, but carried through the middle. NC State will now pick it up with a nice interception in the middle. Carry through, there goes State. State with a sharp kick through
nice
the
lob
middle.
ball, yeah.
And that ball will be going out of bounds. So far, just really a lot of back and forth here, Tyler, with about 37 minutes left to go here in the half. Back and forth games, it gets a little bit stressful for these guys. They want to get the first one on the board here. I would assume that one of the stronger tactics for both teams is you want to get on the board within the first 10 to 20 minutes, really assert your dominance.
Yes, I can completely agree with that statement right there. You want to assert some dominance, kind of be able to get on that foot to be able to play some more defensive ball there towards the later end, get some rest for these guys going in to set up another strong second half, but also be able to set up a nice counterattack with some guys getting behind the ball on the defensive end. We've been seeing some nice lobbed balls into the midfield and attacking third from NC State, just no one there to really get the touch on it, which is causing some miscommunication right there.
Good back movement right there by the younger DeSerafino and Drew. Defense is also going to play critical here today as well. From what I remember from last year as well, NC State's defense was at a premium. They were one of the better defenses that a lot of the PackTV viewers watched. It was definitely made the games interesting, especially in a low-scoring game like this. The State will rush up the ball to a open Minine. Artem Minine, number 9 right there. Apologies if I got that name mixed up. Some of these names today are very interesting, Tyler.
Yes, I will say very interesting names on these players, but that's gonna.
And Duke on a breakout. They carry it back in. There goes.
And there's a foul on the
Selig.
Far side, so about to get up a free kick out here for Duke. Don't know what to expect on this. Maybe a nice little cross into the box for a potential header.
Kicking it in will be Mason Selig. Haven't had much of a presence so far in this game. We'll be looking to see what he can do. State having 2 guys high up
on that wall, and the ball's in.
That will be Minine and Skylar Dove.
Nice job by State getting the head on that ball and that cross in. Plays it out for a simple throw in on the far side. I'm going to say I'll be looking for a nice either long throw in or something nice and short to get something in that box, get some activity going on in there.
Now throwing it in will be Jeffrey Lee. Jeffrey Lee's one of the guys that we've been watching so far today.
Nice long ball and cleared out by NC State.
State will now kick it to the middle as Duke now holds it in the middle right there. A little bit of back and forth. Looks like there was a DeSerafino brother now pushing up to number 20, which is Logan Griffin. Logan Griffin will now pass it all the way back up. Running it up was right. Minine. And that ball goes out of bounds right there.
I'm really liking the patience this team's showing right now. Some slight intensity, which is good off the jump. With only 6 minutes so far into the game.
State now holding back onto it. There goes Jesse Ball. Jesse Ball and stoppage of play. Looks like it was either out or offside.
I think it was over the touch line over there on the goal side, so we're going to be looking for a goal kick.
Our view is a little bit obstructed here at the PackTV broadcast booth. But we're excited to be here today, like we said, Tyler. Zach here alongside Tyler here for today's broadcast. It's an exciting game for sure. Maybe not yet, but things are heating up.
Yes, very, very heated right now, it seems like. Some just great play along the sides, and there's DeSerafino, Drew the freshman. Nice little lob through ball. Some little confusion there from number 3 on NC State's team.
That was Dove. Duke will now push it to the middle. There goes Ben Nichols.
And there's Drew fighting for the ball right now. Very scrappy play. I'm really liking that from a young freshman trying to make an impact on this game.
Nice little block there by Justin McPherson. McPherson is, I believe, is one of the newer guys on this team. Again, a lot of players last year from a lot of these teams did end up graduating. So this is going to be a brand new team. Tryouts were held all the way back in July for NC State soccer. So it's been a little bit interesting to see. But in terms of sports, NC State men's varsity soccer has been doing very well this year, as the play will be called offside. But I feel like it's a little bit of a trickle down, because usually when one team sport is doing well, all of them do well here, Tyler. And looking at, there's even a little bit of a fan showing here today as well.
Yes, a nice
from
little
various friends and family members, and even people who just want to enjoy a beautiful Sunday afternoon. A little bit cloudy, a little bit overcast. People came prepared today, like the choice of apparel in terms of jackets and everything like that.
Yeah, you were mentioning with the varsity athletics, the D1 we have here. Very good showing so far for that team. I believe it's sophomore Manny Perez was actually called up for a U20 men's national team camp. So a really bright future for that young player here with NC State. Actually had a nice showing out against Virginia Tech with a 1-goal win for conference play. So looking at that, and then the trickle down here into the club soccer scene, hopefully that strong case on the D1 level end up showing up here today for our club team.
Goal kick, there's Lee. Lee handling it right now with good pressure coming from McPherson. McPherson playing a strong position on that far left side.
Just off the foot of NC State on that nice little defensive move there, and the attacking third. Going to be a Duke throw-in.
Leland will handle that. Looking at the benches here, the subs are just about even.
Yeah, I'd say so. Not real much activity coming from the bench in regards to warming up, so maybe
And
expect these guys to come in a little bit later.
one thing to notice as well, Tyler, is the fact that these teams, I believe, don't have coaches. What they mainly focus on is players encouraging each other to do the best that they can, and then the players from the benches do end up making the hard decision with a strong kick right there by Griffin.
Beautiful shot. That was a nice curl.
And it did go in the goal, but not in the right one.
Right. Went over the goal on the backside. Nice little over the bar. Could have been
Target
really
practice
dangerous.
there, Tyler.
Exactly. Very good target practice. I'm liking the intensity that we're showing so far right now.
Throwing the ball up now, carrying it is BJ James. James will now send it flying upward.
Little miscommunication there from our defensive side. DeSerafino and then number 5 from State kind of ran into each other there, caused a little bit of a lapse. Now Duke's throw in.
Lee will throw it in. Great pressure right there by McPherson. McPherson's the guy that we've been liking here so far. Now handling it back up at the line, there was Tyler Coward.
Now with the goalie. Bauer with a nice clearance kick out right there.
With a header, that was out.
And didn't know if that was just out of play or if they were calling a foul on that movement there from number 9 with NC State and number 12 at Duke. Number 12 at Duke kind of just flew over the side of his back, so who knows what was going on right there. But yeah, it's looking like an indirect free kick, so I'm going to say that was probably a foul called there.
Ball will go out of bounds once again. That'll be State's ball. Throwing it back in will be Ben Nichols. Ben Nichols, a guy that is returning. And now handling it once again, that is Tyler Coward. Now throwing it all the way back in. Bauer would pick it up. That was a little bit of a scary moment right there. Duke had 2 guys crashing the net. Almost had an opportunity right there. If he lost that ball, that would have been detrimental.
Yes.
And as we talked about, Tyler, one of our keys to the game is the fact that in the first 10 or 20 minutes, if one team scores a goal, that team's going to have a little bit more of a mental dominance over the rest of the game. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen here. Bauer with the long kick up.
Nice header. DeSerafino with the ball. It's Drew. the younger brother. But right now, the play's looking pretty good. Another kick out of bounds from Duke. It's going to be NC State's throw-in. But yes, like you said, with the mental game, it's that whole patience aspect. You don't really want to be playing from behind in a game of soccer because goals do come very far and few in between there. But nice link-up play there on the far side.
Carrying it up now is NC State.
Oh, almost a perfect touch right there, just slightly off the boot. Almost a goal.
Now handling it once again. There goes Jesse Ball. Handling it back up again was Duke, and Duke will now pressure it. Duke now, if they can hurry, they can have a nice little break there. Great speed being shown right there by the Blue Devils, and now carrying it back is Griffin.
On that counterattack, that was just a great defensive effort by number 20 to press in there and get the ball. That counterattack was looking really scary there for a second.
There's Ball. Ball now with a quick pass up. There goes Menine. Menine coming in on the far side. Tried to go for a bit of a tip pass in front of the net. Great crashing job there by McPherson, but a great, even better defensive play there from Duke.
It looks like we have a foul on the field, so it's going to be a Duke free kick there from that back touch line.
At the back again, there is BJ James. Lobs it up to the middle, and carrying it back in is Duke. Duke has had a little bit more work to do defensively than offensively in this game, so it's good to see that State has taken a look at their past several games and noticed that they need to increase their offense.
Exactly, and that was just right out of bounds there for Duke.
DiSerafino will now hand on to it. A little bit of a DiSerafino action right there between number 2 and number 4. Good to see brothers like that. They do have the chemistry. Might have been playing together since they were young. It's great to see them that they were on the same team and they get to represent their, their college in just such a unique way. One interesting thing to note today is the fact that both teams are wearing darker colored jerseys, one red, one dark red, one dark blue. Typically what happens is there's usually a white jersey to signify the away. Both are beautiful jerseys nonetheless. Both represent, various different teams and everything like that. So it's great to see that, teams are just like so bold in their color choices.
Yes, I will agree. The dark blue does look better than a light Carolina blue on this Sunday afternoon. I think we can both agree on that.
I sure hope that State will be able to defeat Carolina in the future. But of course, these games are just so crucial towards points in the standings, towards the championships and everything like that. Carrying it in now is the DiSerafino. DiSerafino will now kick it up, and a great defensive play there by Duke.
Yeah, that ball didn't really seem to be going to anybody really on that pass. So didn't really know what DiSerafino was thinking on that one, but really do like his idea there to get the ball up into the attacking third.
McPherson, a little bit of a lob pass. DiSerafino has it once again all the way back, pressuring on that NC State defense right there is number 9, which was Mason Selig. Selig's a guy that we've been watching. Great kick up right there.
And look at that.
Ball's coming in, a little bit of a slide tackle. Nothing called right there. Player's a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, looking at that right there, not trying to be biased or anything, but that did look like a potential penalty. I do like how the ref is letting the boys play, though. Nice little back and forth game going on right now.
Holding it at the middle. A lot of middle action going on here today between these two teams, so that's showing that they really want to make sure this game is even. But NC State does have incredible speed down the wings, and you can see it right here, rushing it up through the side. Is State, and it was blocked off. One thing I'm noticing here, Tyler, is simply the fact that when State is rushing in, Duke likes to really clump up their defense towards the middle, and that's forcing State to really push out even further, almost to the point where they're going out of bounds. So one thing State may have to do here, Tyler, and let's see what you can analyze here, is the fact that will State be able to just continue to drive up the sides, or will they need to drive through the middle at some point?
I mean, driving up the sides isn't always necessarily a bad thing. Get some crucial crosses into the box. I do think they need to put some pressure in the middle to try to really free up those sides, because as you said, the defenders are clumping together in the middle, so if they could get some of those guys that are focused on the outside to clump in.
First subs of the game coming in here. Cornell Gallagher is now coming on, along with Duke's number 7, which is Avery Herman. players are now leaving the field. A couple more subs coming off, as now we see Arts and Menine now coming off the field. Another two NC State subs waiting here. Again through the sides, State will pressure it. A great defensive play right there by BJ James. James, one of the players that we've seen a little bit of ball action, lobbing it up to the middle, trying to create some plays.
And a quick Duke counterattack right there, but that just led to nothing. Right to State's goalkeeper Bauer. He's going to play the ball back out through the defense.
To the side right now. Good ball handling, slowly moving through the sides. Now rushing it up through the middle. There goes Griffin. Griffin logs it all the way up to one of the nearer to Gallagher. Gallagher now will hang on to it. Gallagher with a nice little juke fake right there. And back to the DiSerafino. DiSerafino now with the pass all the way over to the corner with a quick shot and over. And that is going into the road, ladies and gentlemen. One car will be very lucky to pick up that ball today. It could be signed, could be autographed, sold on eBay, whatever you want to do with it. Good thing that didn't hit a car, though.
Yes, very good. It didn't hit a car, hit a person. That is one thing I noticed before the game. These fences really aren't that high, so.
And in today's day and age, Tyler, these car insurance prices are going up, so be sure to keep your cars insured. Be sure to go to the right dealer to find the right price for you.
And it looks like freshman Drew DeSerafino is coming off of the field right now, number 4, and also I think that's number 13 or number 15 for NC State coming off as well.
15 now coming off for NC State. That is Jesse Ball. Ball is a guy that we have seen driving up the sides quite a bit today. A little bit more active with the ball. Another sub waiting to come in. That's Brendan to go. With a quick pass to the side. State will now control it. State to the front. Just wide.
Oh, perfect cross
with
in.
A quick shot. What a save. Ball's in front of the net, and the goaltender hangs on. Great job so far by Breslov.
Yes, very good job by Breslov right there, keeping composure with a herd of giant pack, I should say, not a herd, but a pack of NC State attackmen.
Rushing back in. There goes State. Rushing back in. That's Dove. Dove with the opportunity, and Duke pressured out the defense. A lot of activity we've seen from State so far. They seem to have a little bit more of a jolt. They started off a little bit on the slower side, and now they're coming in. Now they're applying that pressure that we've been talking about here, Tyler. What do you think it took for them mentally to come to where they are at this point in the game?
I think, honestly, mentally speaking, they're probably just very frustrated with how they've been playing, and they're trying to just jumpstart a potential win streak or just something like that to where they don't have to worry about continuing to play from the back through the rest of the season and through these club games to try to get into the championship again.
With a quick corner kick now coming in. Great header right there by Adrian Villa. State now has it back at the side. One area they've been dominating so far. The ball is going straight towards the goaltender Breslov, and Breslov will now be able to lob it back out. But with State exuding all this energy, they're bound to give in at some point very soon. So we'll see what happens. Utilizing the energy too quickly in a game is a strategy that some teams do employ, but then they lose a lot of energy towards the end of the game. But soccer, of course, is a game that people train for. People know they have to be running for close to 90 minutes a game, as now they will rush it back up. There goes
Wonderful
Duke.
Counterattack from number 11 on Duke, and a great defensive clearance there to the out-of-bounds line.
That was Case. Case ringing it up with a great play by Jeffrey Lee. Two guys that we have seen a lot of action from so far here.
Looks like we're getting some action from substitutions with NC State. Number 10 and number 6 are coming into the game.
That is Durar coming on now for a guy that I've been liking so far in Dove. Both are exceptionally well players. Both have been playing an equal part. I think like the best thing that is great about this game, Tyler, is like compared to football, every player in soccer will touch the ball at some point, compared to football where maybe 2 or 3 people will touch the ball in a play.
Correct. It's very intriguing to be able to see how each
slide
player.
tackle right there by Avery Herman, one of the subs that just came in, and now rushing it up. There goes Gallagher, and the ball will go out. Gallagher will throw it in now. Gallagher once again. Gallagher with the quick pass up to the middle. Slowly handling it all the way back right there for Nago. Nago now will handle it all the way back. And that ball will not be, that did end up coming out.
It did indeed. First it looked like it was going to stay in and we would have a great opportunity there for a cross, but Side judge decided to.
Lee will be throwing that ball in. Lee has been very active thus far. If you're just tuning in, it is now 0-0 with about 19 minutes to go here in the first half. Zach Salwaya here alongside Tyler Counts bringing you today's live coverage of NC State Club Soccer facing off against the Duke Blue Devils. NC State is 1-0-2 this season so far. Looking forward to try and make that 2-0-2 instead of 1-1-2. They really just want to make sure they get in that win column. And I think at the end of the day, Tyler, here is that you want to be able to go to your players at the end of the game and just say, no matter how we did it, they got the W.
Exactly. A nice, even if it's just a 1-0 win, very good for this team moving forward. As the ball's played over the line, it's going to be a state throw-in.
There's Nago. That's Jeremy Twitt right there. One of the first times that we've seen him have some ball action in this game. Twitt will now rush it up. Great patience right there. State runs 4 guys right in front of him with about 1 guy trailing. Good offensive pressure. Now with the interesting pass all the way back to Barr. Barr now will pass it back up. State now will carry it on, and there goes State once again. There's Derar. Derar now will throw it up. Opportunities now coming in for State with a slide tackle, and what a save there by Breslov. Unbelievable save right there.
And that seemed to be coming in from a slide tackle attempt from his own teammate, so I don't know what Duke was thinking there, but almost could have been very costly.
Lee threw it up right there to Avery Herman and went through the middle, and that started up a little bit of a rush there for Duke, creating a little bit of energy. Great interception right there by NC State. As now the ball comes in and a quick breakout, and that will not be able to go in even if that ball had not gone out. Little bit of a sharp angle.
Yes, very sharp. Do like the effort from Duke there on that counter attack. Defense kind of just stood there, didn't really follow the player. I think they were hoping for potential offsides there, and then Bauer just ran up. So could have been very, very bad for NC State, but thankfully we got the luck of the draw there and now have a goal kick.
Barr will now be shoving it upfield. Not very high. Duke was able to keep that in the NC State end. Not a very good moment there. There goes Duke, and Barr will be able to settle it down here. A little bit of mustard and custard all over the field today, Tyler. A lot of fighting, a lot of good battles.
Yes, a very, very technical game right now. Each player brings their own little flair and personality on the pitch, and seeing how they're just going up against the Duke here is very intriguing to watch.
Great slide tackle there, but State will be able to retain possession. Carrying it through the zone right now. There goes State, and it's pushed right back out to the middle to be handled well right there by Richard Wright. Wright will now lob it back up to Logan Griffin, and now they're carrying it through the middle with a quick shot, and it's just careened off one of the Duke players, and it will now come all the way back, but State still has possession. State will now hold on to it. A little bit of a patience play right there. Now back to Logan Griffin. All the way over to what looks to be a DiSerafino brother. Another sub now coming in here for NC State. Will be coming off at the next stoppage of play. And that is at the corner. Subs now waiting in at the sidelines, but this will be a corner kick before they carry in those subs.
I do believe that both DiSerafino brothers are on the bench, so I think that was number 8 for NC State right there on that cross.
I believe you are correct right there, Tyler. That was Ben Nichols. The same stash and the same body structure made me feel like it was one of the DiSerafino brothers. It's a little bit of a disruptive view right here from the PackTV booth as we bring you live coverage of today's game. Zach Salwai here alongside Tyler Counts. But still, even though we have a little bit of an obstructive view, this is still a great game from what we see. It's a great game from what we're hearing by the amount of intensity coming out of the communication of these players here, Tyler. All in all, it's just a great game.
It has been. It's been very fun to be able to commentate so far. Still 14 minutes roughly in the first half of the game. Great effort from both teams so far. Still 0-0.
Just past the halfway mark here of the first half as NC State will now control it. Holding on to it, that's Will Glass. Will Glass with a quick slide tackle there from one of the Duke defenders. That was Gerardo Paraga. And now that ball will go all the way back for a quick kick right there by the goaltender to send it out. Talk about the performance of Breslov so far here, Tyler.
You know, Breslov has been very impressive. He's been dealing with some intensity from this state attack team right now. So just want to see what he can do for the next 13 minutes, since he will be coming out in for the second half.
Duke now applying pressure through the middle. State was able to regain possession right there and carrying it back through. Interesting choices all around being made here today. Just interesting passes. Been a lot of back passing. Not something that you would see in a lot of sports, especially for the fact that these players, what they're probably trying to see is that it gets so crowded up through the middle, they want to pass it back, and they want to make sure they can kind of resettle it down and reopen the field.
Yeah, the benefits of actually being able to play it back to your defenders is your defenders see the entirety of the field. So it's nice being able to have kind of like a new game plan going into an attack. It's very common to see, actually, really, in European football, or soccer, I should say, with that playing from the back style.
Great job there by the NC State defender. That was number 12, which was Gallagher. Gallagher, once again, having a fantastic game. Throwing it in was Nago. Gallagher, a little bit of a back-and-forth play right there. Nago will send it flying back once again, like we were talking about just recently, to Tyler Coward. Coward will now lob it all the way over to Ben Nichols. Nichols will fly it up the side right there. Slowly entering it. There is Seth Harris pushing it through the middle of State. State really trying to apply that pressure. If we had a clock here to show offensive time of possession, State would have a clear advantage here, Tyler.
I would, yes, I would say that. The only downside, though, is they just really haven't been able to find the back of that net yet. I think that this continued intensity and pressure from the attack should hopefully see that scoreboard going up 1-0 against Duke here.
Duke throws it up, and that ball will be not going out. Great possession there by Nago. Nago trying to handle it in, and he keeps it in. And now handling it back is Brandon Wright. Wright has been sticking towards the back of the field all day, playing strong defense, passing the ball up where he needs to be.
Been seeing some great build-up play there in the midfield today from NC State. It's been very crucial for setting up these attacks.
Now handling it up was Durar. With a strong kick up, open man right there with the quick shot, and just over.
Looked like a great effort there at goal, just maybe hit off the boot there, kind of just sort of out of play.
And State has been doing a great job so far in terms of shots. I believe I've counted about 5 total attempts, but only 1 has hit the net.
Yes, and by net you mean the opposite net that we were talking about earlier.
Of course, of course. If that was the case, it would be about 1-0 right now.
Of course, it'd be really good to see that great for the mindset here for this State club team.
But this is a field that is utilized by many different sports as well, so having that net back right there is more of just because they probably had a game earlier today. But this is a multi-purpose field. Lacrosse plays here, soccer plays here, some intramural football plays here as well. So it is a great location to be. State now has it, and that ball will again go into the street. Another lucky prize for the residents around the NC State area.
Yes, that shot was put perfectly right there in front of goal, just hit and just straight over the bar there.
Hopefully they have enough balls to keep up with all these out-of-bounds plays going on right now.
I would sure hope so.
Now lobbing it back in once again is BJ James. James has been that guy down in the Duke end. He's exceptionally good at pushing the ball back. With a quick throw in. There's Durar. Durar now lob it. State pushing up the sides with the shot, and he scores!
And it's found in the back of the net. What a goal right there. Just Wonderful attack right there. Perfect. Dang, that was beautiful.
Certainly was, and you can see it right away. He cut in through the middle there, Tyler, went straight to the side and got the quick shot.
Yes, it was a great counterattack there from NC State, getting quick on the jump, like we said, having some patience and intensity there on the ball. Set that goal up perfectly. Be interesting to see if State decides to maybe park the bus a little bit, play some defensive ball, I guess, scheme here. If they're going to continue to attack, try to get that score line to 2-0.
So that was a guy that just came in. That was Jeremy Twitt who got that recent score, number 11 there for NC State. And these subs, this depth for NC State club soccer is something that we've been paying attention to throughout the course of this game. The subs have been coming in. Want to give a quick shout out to our viewers. Thank you for everyone who's watching today's game. Friends and family of the team, friends and family of some of the commentators here. Want to appreciate you coming in. There goes Duke. Duke comes through the middle, but a nice block right there by the NC State defense. Rushing to get it. There goes number 14, which is Glass.
And it looks like number 4, Drew De Serafino, about to get ready for his substitution, come back into the game.
Good communication right there by the Duke players to realize that temper needs to come down at some points of the game. And for the better part, need to settle down, need to focus on making sure that ball goes in the net and not necessarily ball stays in the middle of the field.
Yes, that seemed like the players just kind of getting mad at the ref there. Ref hasn't really been calling a lot of fouls today. There really hasn't been a lot of fouls. He's just letting the guys play, which is really good to see.
Duke now versus backup. A little bit of scary thing. Great speed being put on right there by NC State. Glass had a great rush up through the side right there. Now handling once again. There's right up to Glass, and through the middle there's Nago. Nago will now make a back pass over the head of Avery Herman. Handled at the side.
Nice physicality there from Duke to get that ball back. And looks like a nice little shove foul there from NC State. Going to set up for an indirect free kick. Some nice play back to the back for Duke.
All the way back now. Duke will need the opportunity here to try to rebound. Communication from the bench is going on as well, something we were talking about earlier, Tyler, is the fact that these scratches and these subs are the coaches for these teams.
Yes, it's very neat to be able to see that from a perspective of a game that's usually heavily coached. It's kind of neat being able to hear the bench more than you hear the field players talking to each other.
Wright will now handle it once again. Wright settles it down. Things are dying down here in the half, Tyler, and this is probably why you're seeing a little bit more back and forth play. They had a lot of aggression in the middle part of the half, and now it's just boiling down to, can State keep it up?
Yes, we got about 5 minutes left to go in the first half. I think State's just trying to escape this half without conceding a goal. And that was a quick foul there by Duke.
And now State carries it back in, looking for that another opportunity. Great speed coming in. A little bit of a nice juke fake. State with the wheels and goes over the net once again. Didn't go out of the field arena area, so that's a plus.
Yes, very good there. And looks like we got some subs coming on for NC State. Number 4, Drew De Serafino, and number 3 for NC State.
Coming on, that is going to be Dove. Dove is a guy that we've been watching a little bit today. Had some good speed coming up the sides right there. Coming off now will be number 14 in Glass, and
number 12,
which is Gallagher. Gallagher is a guy that we also have been liking quite a bit today.
Yes, indeed. Gallagher's been having a great performance so far.
About less than 5 minutes left to go here in the half. It's been a little bit of an interesting one. A lot of back and forth. That State has had the edge in terms of overall play. The ball has been in the Duke end a little bit more, and by a little bit, I mean a lot more than the NC State end. Handling it now is DiSerafino. DiSerafino all the way back. I believe that's Ben Nichols right there. Holding it there is State once again. There it goes with the pass up to the middle. A little bit ball barreling over him was Duke right now. Wright will make the pass over to the NC State player, and it goes quickly out of bounds.
I like the intention there from number 3 with NC State. Nice little try to get through that ball, set it up on the side for another cross in. Just kind of had an unlucky bounce off the Duke defender.
Duke now with the possession, and they will carry it back up through the middle. Duke now has a great pressure being put on right here by Dove. I'm liking Dove a lot for a lot of different reasons. May not have any scoring presence, but one thing is he's the kind of guy that when he comes on the field, once he sees the ball, he doesn't want to run away from it. He's running towards it. He's running after the guys that have the ball, that are applying the pressure. That's the kind of guys you want to see on a team like this.
Yes, great ability there from Dove to apply pressure on this Duke back line, causing a lot of miscommunications and just a bunch of careless mistakes by Duke's defenders.
Duke will now throw it back up. Wright will now challenge. Number 13 there for Duke. Duke will now hand on to it at the corner, and State will push it out. See what the ref rules it.
Duke corners, I think what the ref is signaling over there on the far side.
With the corner now, Duke has the opportunity to try to push it to the middle to make this a 1-1 game. And they do, and a great header out by NC State. Great defense being shown right there. Duke will now lob it back out. And there goes State. State will not be able to get the breakaway right there. Would have been a great opportunity if they did. A lot of the players were caught towards the NC State end.
Yes, that would have been a great counterattack there. Just caught Duke on the wrong side of a counterattack, to be fully honest with you.
There goes Duke. Duke has it, and a great job by Bauer. Holds on to it as Ben Case trips over him.
Yeah, so that was a great instinct right there from Bauer to just jump off his line and go after that ball to prevent anything from going into that back of the net for Duke.
Bauer to lob it up. There is Durar. Durar now will make a quick pass up to DiSerafino.
DiSerafino's got that breakaway right there.
DiSerafino with a great job moving on the sides with the lob to the middle. Can't find anything, and a great save by Brislov.
Yes, that was a great effort there from DiSerafino and Dove. Dove with a nice little shot in there, just slightly hit Duke's goalie there.
Opportunity for the interception there by Nago. Was a little bit curious to why he didn't pinch up a little bit more. Ball's coming towards us. Tyler, you want a souvenir?
I would love a souvenir right now, but it looks like it's going to be
okay, well,
corralled.
you're not going to get one.
Yeah, looked like that got corralled pretty quickly by NC State with about 20 seconds left to go in the half. Maybe one last attack.
And Bauer will now kick it out with about 15 seconds left to go in this half. Not a lot much more can happen here, Tyler. About 1-0 going in here for NC State after a great offensive period, trying to combat a 1-0-2 record to beat a very strong Duke team that has given State a challenge. There's the half.
And that will be the end of the half. Some scrappy play there between NC State and Duke to close that out.
All right, Tyler. Some quick thoughts about this first half here.
Fully honest with you, I've been very impressed by NC State's presence and their intensity today. Great job jumping out to a 1-0 lead in the first half, and look to see how they build upon that for the second.
All right, well, we'll be right back here on PackTV to bring you the second half live between NC State Soccer and Duke. We'll be right back. The wind is making my hair flap here, Tyler, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Zach Sawai here alongside Tyler Counts. So far, NC State is winning 1-0 here on this very windy day. Beautiful day, though, beautiful weather all in all, but the weather does have played into a little bit of how the game is being played. Ball is kind of going all over the place, Tyler. So how do you think so far the weather has sort of counted into today's game?
I really do think it's been hurting their attacking with those shots. It's been kind of carrying the ball a little bit more. I don't know if that's just how they're hitting it or if it's the wind playing into that, but that's about it pretty much.
A lot of middle action play today as well. The ball has been a lot more in the Duke end than the NC State, and a lot more attacking and everything like that. Sort of talk about how the weather and how much midfield presence has been a factor in today's game.
You know, one of the things that was going to be a key to this game for NC State was high intensity when attacking, and they've done just that. They've been keeping it in their attacking third and allowing some defensive play to build up some attacks.
Biggest key going into the second half here?
Going to be just making sure that Duke doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. They have the lead. It's just time to secure it and make sure they come away with a victory.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here, right here on PackTV. We'll be right back with the second half. That was a quick break. Want to welcome you back here today to the match between NC State Soccer and Duke Club Soccer. Zach Sawai alongside a special guest for the first part of this second half here in Bennett Lincoln. Bennett, how you doing today?
Pretty well, Zach. How about yourself?
Well, it's been windy. My hair has not been agreeing with the weather, but all in all, you know, we got to be here. We got to watch today's game. It's been an exciting one, Bennett. You've been watching from behind us at the PackTV booth so far. So what have you been thinking of the game so far?
It's been a lot of back and forth. A lot of NC State possessions so far, but maybe Duke can pick it up. Hopefully not, but hopefully they can keep it entertaining for sure, and maybe State can maintain this lead here.
One of the most entertaining parts of today's game was the sub that came on towards, I believe, the middle of the first half. I may be mistaken, but Jeremy Twitt has the lone goal in today's game. A very interesting drive cutting through the middle to the side. In general, goals are very hard to come by in soccer, so if you saw that goal, what did you think about it?
Honestly, I thought it was a really nice goal. It was a really good angle. Just got it in behind the goalkeeper there, and it was a good strike for sure.
A couple of important things to note before we continue on with the game right here. Austin Verissimo, God, I love that last name, will be coming in.
That's fun to say.
It is very fun to say, and I get to say it, so it's even better. Verissimo will be coming in for the second half here for Duke as the goaltender. Breslov will take a seat. Breslov did have a very strong performance there in that first half, so it's something very interesting to take a look at here going forward. Duke has had a very strong performance so far this season, and as me and Tyler talked about here in the first half, State has only gone 1-0-2, having ties with High Point and Wake, but having one win against UNCG. So how important do you think momentum-wise this first game will be?
I think if they can get this game in the win column here, this will be really important momentum-wise because, you know, there's going to be more games, and if they have to go into those games either with a loss or with a tie, it'll be a bit more demoralizing than coming in with a win. But yeah, in terms of momentum, that'll definitely help them like carry themselves better and definitely probably play better because they'll be more encouraged with a better record.
One thing for sure here, Bennett, is simply the fact that NC State, even though they are a team that has a little bit more of numbers in the loss column, today they're looking like a winning team as DiSerafino will now carry that ball back up with a strong block right there by BJ James, a player that has had a lot of presence. DiSerafino will now carry it back, and James will clear it out, and State will headbutt that one out right there. But talking about winning teams here, State's been looking like one. What do you think has been the secret to their success today?
Just their offensive press right now. I mean, they've really been pressuring Duke here on the offense and keeping it on Duke's side of the field. So I think that's been really important.
Torn down right there. There goes one of the State players. I believe that was DiSerafino. DiSerafino, of course, one of the two twins here today. I'm not sure if they're twins or just brothers. They look very similar, so we can assume twins. If not, whoops. Throwing it back in right there was State. There goes Logan Griffin. Griffin up to DiSerafino. Now heading it back up. That's a guy that we were watching towards the end of that last period. And Dove. Dove is one of my favorite players to watch simply because he's always attacking the ball no matter where it is. And no matter in what sport, you always want to have those defensemen that are consistently attacking whatever ball it may be, whether it be a puck, a football, or a lacrosse ball. I'm not sure what you call that one there, Bennett. But in general, how important it is for defense to always be at their 120%.
Yeah, I mean, the defensive press is for sure important in any sport you play, because if you can suppress that that offensive production from the other squad, then that'll relieve the pressure on your offense and make it easier to win for sure.
State will now carry it through the middle. A lot of middle play today we've seen here today, Bennett, and it's one thing that has been very important in a lot of soccer games, across the world, is just their ability to play in the middle. And what me and Tyler noticed in that first half, my apologies, is the fact that in the first part of that first half, it was a lot of middle play. Then it slowly drifted towards the Duke end in terms of scoring abilities. As the wind is picking up here, probably could hear it a little bit through our microphones. And the ball will now
go out. It's a nice breeze.
It is a very nice breeze. And the ball will now go out now for a corner kick. With the corner now, Duke will lob it back in. Looks like it'll be a redo, unless the ball is just being lobbed back out. And it will be. Picking it now back up is going to be number 3, Jeffrey Lee. Lee is another good defensive player that we have seen today so far from Duke. Now the ball's in the State end. This is not something we have seen so far in today's game, maybe a few times.
Yeah, it seems like they might have laid off a little bit after that first goal. I don't know how wise that is. I think they should keep that offensive press up to keep the pressure on Duke.
Definitely so far, one of the strategies that some teams have is the fact that they put a lot of pressure on in that first half, and they're just out of energy by the second half.
Yeah.
It's more of a dominant strategy, but what do you think about it?
I guess each strategy has its weaknesses. So it worked for NC State getting that goal in the first half, but we'll see if it can maintain.
It hurt. That went to the area where the sun do not shine, and the ball will go out of play. Have an injured player on the field. Duke will need to be able to figure out what's going on right there. I'm not sure if he can get up right there. Those injuries hurt, Bennett. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, the best he can do is sit still for a second and catch his breath. He's up, though.
Well, the thing is, if he was falling asleep, he's awake now. Getting injured. That was Mason Selig, a guy that we have watched a little bit today. He'll be heading off the field. And the sub that will be coming in is going to be Avery Herman. Herman is a guy that I did like in that first half. Really good, strong offensive pressure here. Big shout out to NC State and the University Recreation, as they have trainers on site to make sure that these players are okay, whatever may happen to them. Something that you don't see a lot in many club sports is the fact they don't have their own trainer, so it's good to have these guys come in and make sure that they're okay. Seems like he's okay. He needs to shake it off a little bit. So in general, Bennett, who do you think your favorite soccer teams are at the moment?
In the professional sport world?
Professional or club, college, wherever it may be, where do you think the interests lie the most in terms of viewers watching and everything like that?
I don't know. I'm interested in the young American star Christian Pulisic, I think is how you say his name. 20 years old and already has 2 Premier League goals. I think that's really impressive. I think he's a young star to keep an eye on for sure.
For sure. And I think one of the big things as well is that these players out here, they look up to those guys just like that. I mean, 20 years old, 2 Premier League goals. That's a premium right there.
Yeah.
And if anything, that'll provide motivation for these guys going forward. Zach Sawyer here alongside our special guest, Bennett Lincoln. One thing that we are liking so far today is another player down, looks like to be a leg injury. Shaking it off. We'll get back up. Has a little bit of a limp. Sub waiting to come on. And a great grab right there by the new goalkeeper. I just want to say that name. Austin Verissimo. I love that name. With a quick lob to the middle, just wide, will go behind the net so far. With just about 31-ish minutes left to go here in the half here, Bennett. What have you seen so far in the second half?
So far, a lot more Duke pressure on State's defense. They've been keeping it on that end of the field, but it looks like State's trying to turn that around a little bit here with a corner kick. So maybe they can get things rolling again.
State now lobs it up to the middle, and with a header and a huge save there by Verissimo. Verissimo will throw it out towards us. We will not get a souvenir today here, Bennett. I really wish we did. There goes Greenstein. Greenstein will now play a little bit of back and forth right there with number 6, Eli Pajulio. I apologize if I'm pronouncing any of these last names to any of the families and friends watching. Now lobbing it up. There goes the Duke offense, applying strong pressure here. State will now holding it at the middle here. And there he goes again with great speed. There goes number 3 for NC State. That's Dove. Dove to the front. And with the ball, and State will send it just wide. A little bit of fan reaction right there. They were hoping for something right there, Bennett.
Yeah, I was too. That was a nice cross. It was just a little bit too much heat on that.
Definitely a little bit of trouble right there with the actual kick of the ball. Talk to us quickly here, Bennett, about how important the presence of the goaltenders has been here today.
On the Duke end, the goaltenders have for sure played a role, except for the one goal they've allowed. The State goaltender has done a very good job keeping the goal out of the back of the NC State net. But definitely good goalkeeper play from both squads.
Both squads so far. Barr has been in the whole game versus Verissimo, who's just come in for the first 10 minutes of the second half. There goes Dove. Dove with quick pressure to the front of the net, and they can't find any luck right there as Duke will now kick that over and will hit the fence. Lucky for those cars over there. Verissimo will be waiting at the moment for a kick from the goal. Lobs it up very well. Long kick will go out of bounds. State will be able to throw it in. At the line, there goes State. One thing we want to pay attention to today as well. It's going to be a busy week. State football is a big weekend this weekend against, I believe, Virginia.
Yep, that's right.
It's going to be a great weekend for sure. My apologies. State had a great one yesterday against Marshall. I believe at the end it was 37-20. A huge performance right there by Ryan Finley and team. Dave Doran has done an exceptional job this year in focusing on recruiting, putting in a lot of true freshmen. Alin McNeil has gotten a few starts so far on the defensive side of things for State. Bradley Chubb also having a good day today as well. Got a sack in today's Denver Broncos game from what I did look up before. So NC State Pack pros are doing exceptionally well, especially in soccer. And I believe we've had a few soccer players graduate from the varsity team here as well, Bennett. A fact that we will learn after today's game for sure. Good offensive pressure being put on there by State. The ball will be slowed down at the Duke end. At the NC State end, my apologies, because they did switch ends at the half. Relatively short half times here for these club soccer games. Not something you want to see very often, but in terms of halftime, how much energy do you think typically is being exuded each game, considering for the fact that sometimes players are running up and down, sometimes they're more stuck in one place trying to await the next play?
Yeah, I mean, especially for soccer, with how much running is done in the sport, a longer halftime would be favorable for sure.
Great interception there by Dove. Dove was really pressuring, and they come in, and Verissimo beat them to the punch. Great job there by Verissimo. We now have 2 subs coming on here for State. It's going to be Ball and Harris coming in now. DiSerafino, great slide tackle there from Duke, and the ball will come out of bounds. Hit some of our equipment there. Don't worry, it's fine. The subs will now come on. Coming off right now, it looks to be Gallagher and one of the DiSerafino brothers. Looks to be Drew. Joey DiSerafino will now throw it in. Dove now. DiSerafino now will kick it up towards the middle right there, and Duke has good possession. Duke trying to get it out, and they do. And the ball will be kicked out once again here. State went out, hold on to it. Strong pressure going through the middle. 2 guys were on that NC State player. Looks like it was Menine. Strong kick hit the shin of what looks to be BJ James. DiSerafino will now hang on to it. Lobbing it back up there, as I believe that's Griffin. Griffin was pressuring one of the Duke players, which has been Case. Strong performance so far today by number 3 in Dove. What have you thought about his play today so far?
I've definitely thought that he's been making those hustle plays, those quick plays, the ones that can turn into something more. Nothing's come of them yet, but if he keeps hustling like he is, I'm sure something will come of it.
For sure. Speed has also been very important in today's game, and Dove is definitely one of the speedier guys on this team. Nago now has it. Still keeps it in. A little bit shocked about that. Really good footwork, grammar, eludes me. Slowly kick back up. There it goes. That hustle play you were talking about there, Bennett, and he has a breakaway, and he can't get to it. He does, and a great defensive block by Adrian Villa. That was one of the strongest plays that I've seen that has been the goal so far scored here for State.
Yeah, that would have been a nice play if he could have wrangled that ball in. Just eludes him there.
Looks like it be a corner kick here for State. Ben Nichols will be taking the ball here today. Nichols has stayed on, I believe, for the majority of this game. He's got to be pretty tired, a little bit fatigued. Nichols will lob it towards the middle. State will not gain control of that one. There goes State to the front and stoppage of play. Looks like I believe that was offside. I may be a little bit mistaken though. Quickly want to give a quick shout out to Bennett Lincoln for joining us here today on today's broadcast. We want to thank him, and now we are rejoined today by Tyler. Tyler had a little bit of a coffee break here. A little bit of shame you didn't bring me anything, Tyler.
I'm very sorry, Zach.
No, I can't forgive you, Tyler. This is an abomination. I'm just kidding. Of course, we want to welcome you back to the broadcast. Some of the things that me and Bennett were talking about throughout the broadcast was the fact that Dove is getting right back on that hustle game that we saw towards the end of that first half, rushing up and down, had one great opportunity that seemed to have been blocked by Adrian Villa. It was a little bit of a situation in which I'm sure he would want back, but so far, it's been a pretty interesting first half. From what you did see, what can you comment on?
To be fully honest with you, NC State's been keeping up with the attacking pressure they showed in the first half, and it's been very good to see. Maybe hopefully that 1-0 scoreline can change to a 2-0 scoreline by the end of the game.
For sure, and there's Dove once again. Dove will lob it back. State's been a little bit more on this end. There goes Dove once again. If there's one player we're going to give star of the game to, it will be Dove.
Of course, Dove has been stellar today.
Even though he has nothing in terms of pure points, he does have a lot of more field, I guess you would say. I would call it maybe street smarts, book smarts. The street smarts, I'm going to call it the points. Book smarts, I'm going to call it the actual overall game. I have no idea.
He's just really been on point today. He's going to use this. I think he's been calculating exactly what he wanted to do. He had that nice little mindset going into the game. He's just been executing very well for NC State's club soccer team today.
Of course. And one thing for sure here, Tyler, is that they pay me for the broadcasting and not the analogies as we continue this game right here. 1-0 here at the latter half of the second half. 1-0 in favor of State. Zach Solway here alongside Tyler Counts. I'm, of course, the one who can't think of any analogies. Tyler's the one with the very, very strong analysis.
I mean, and a little disappointed to see that Dove just came off the field there on that substitution. Been playing very well today. And not just a little disappointed, very disappointed they decided to take him off. He's been, I think, a key component of this attack.
I mean, for sure there, Tyler, but one thing that we need to pay attention to as well is water.
Yes.
These guys are getting dehydrated. It's been a very intense back-and-forth game. This has been one of the more active games that I've seen in my history of watching soccer. I've watched, everything from Pro League to, the simulations on FIFA. Great game, by the way, as well as in this game right here. So it's been very active in terms of running up and down the field, the hustle that these players have shown.
Yes, it's been very, very intriguing. And it looks like there's a foul there by NC State, if I'm not mistaken.
1920 here left to go. Trying to think of interesting facts that happened in 1920. And Tyler, I gotta be honest with you, I can't think of any.
I'll be fully honest with you also. I've got nothing. 1920s. Don't really know what happened. I think there was like I think there was a war, World War I during that time frame, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, going back on it, dating back, soccer has been played for a long amount of time. Even if soccer wasn't fully established, ball was almost in that end. Duke will now have an opportunity. They kick the ball and they score!
And that is a Duke goal right there on some miscommunication.
That was
defense.
A Duke goal right there, and that was scored by Eli Pajulo. Again, I am very sorry if I mispronounced that last name, but that was a really great goal so far scored by the Duke Blue Devils. You saw what happened right there. I mean, the ball just came to him, and it was a little bit of a bouncing ball as well. Barr just could not get to it. It's now 1-1, all tied up here. A little bit of a breakdown there by State.
And it looks like, is that blood?
I believe that is. That or just some of the dye came off of the jersey. That's blood.
That's definitely some blood right there on the player's eye. One big rule in soccer is blood on the jersey is a no-go. You need to come off and potentially get a new jersey. He looks like he's got a giant cut there by his eye. NC State resumes play. Right over the outside, right out of bounds there on that pass. Duke's throw in.
That's an interesting fact you just told us there, Tyler, about how blood on the soccer jerseys are no-go. Why is that?
To be fully honest with you, I have no idea why. I know watching soccer, there's been times where players have been wearing jerseys, specifically the white jerseys, where they get something on it, and if it's blood or something like that, they just don't want it there.
Duke player down right there, I believe that is Pajulo. Just got that goal, and he will be heading off very quickly for a sub. Coming on right now is number 21.
Actually, maybe not coming off.
A little bit of one of those kind of you got to shake it off injuries.
Exactly.
Really good job right there from the Blue Devils. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit more here. Very overcast, cloudy skies. Around 6 o'clock right now.
Yeah, I will say I've maybe not wear the right attire here. Got some khaki shorts on. Starting to get a little chilly out here, but you know, staying warmed up here. Watch some great games.
For sure. Fashion with Tyler and Zach, a show that will be coming to PackTV in the next several months, depending on how we'll be able to get the funding for that. If you want to pitch in, we can tell you all about our choices in shorts. Zach here alongside Tyler to commentate on today's broadcast between NC State soccer and Duke soccer. One of the good things that we've seen today, Tyler, is one thing that we're going to be talking about for a while after this one is the hustle.
Yes.
The hustle has been a major factor so far in this game, especially on the fact of trying to get his first name, Skylar Dove. Definitely one of the guys that we want to give the player of the game to just because simply of his hustle.
Yes, I will agree with that statement. As of right now, Skylar Dove is probably the front runner for at least my, and I guess yours also, player of the game. His effort has been top notch and really just been very precise with his movements on the pitch today.
Handling the ball in the back is State. Now, I'm not sure today of what the rules are regarding extra time. I'm not sure if it will end up being a tie or if it will go to extra time. It's one thing that was tossed up in the air a lot last year. I'm not sure if the rules have changed for this year, but as soon as we find out, we will let you all know.
I mean, NC State probably be very disappointed if this game does go into a draw just because they have been, I think, just hustling a lot more than Duke has.
And they've had 2 draws this season already.
Exactly.
So they would like to get back in the win column.
Yes. That was one of the things that we were talking about earlier today is how important this game is to get them back on that right track and give them a win to push through for this rest of the season.
With a quick lob right there from the Duke player, and really nice save there by Bauer. Talk about the performance of the goaltenders here so far.
So the goalies, Bauer's been doing a great job. He's just been really focusing that ball, following the ball, and just make sure he gets 2 hands on it. He hasn't really been parrying the ball at all, which is good, not giving the Duke attackers some scraps to try to score off of. Duke goalies, we've seen 2 of them so far. Both have been very good today. Granted, the second half goalie hasn't let a goal in, so I will give him the upper hand in that goalie battle for Duke. They seem to be having right now.
I've just gotten word from some of the officials here, courtesy of Mr. Blake. Thank you, Blake. Great analysis, but we have learned that if today's game does end up being a 1-1 tie, it will end in a tie. That's what it will most likely be. I believe he was about 90% sure, so the other 10%, that's up for grabs. But as if so far right now, it is 1-1 heading into the last 13 minutes of today's games. NC State would not like to see a tie. What a kick, but the net was a little bit more towards the down right.
Yes, it was a great effort there on that cross. I think the wind probably carried that a little bit.
For sure, definitely. One thing that the players have to take into account now is the wind factor. They want to make sure that ball can be passed well, moved well, but with the wind now coming into play, it's a little bit more chilly. The players probably don't know that because they're really hot, but...
Yeah, I think that'd probably be one big aspect for the rest of this game going forward is how this wind really will contribute to some maybe missed passes and missed shots for the next 12 minutes or so.
State will carry it through the zone. Duke getting a little bit frustrated about the amount of non-calls. I'm not seeing anything happen here.
Yes, the ref really has been keeping his cards in his pocket today. And what a shot right there. That was a laser right there. I'm going to tell you now. That should have probably been upper corner. Just kind of flew beside the crossbar a little bit there.
The State has done a great job shooting, but they have not done a great job of scoring. In terms of opportunities, there's probably upwards of about 10 total shot attempts, maybe about 2 or 3 that actually have hit the net.
And it looks like our potential player of the game, number 3, Skylar Dove, is returning for the Pack right now. Interesting to see what he may be contributing for the next 12 minutes or so.
Slowly kick more back in. There goes Duke. And that ball's kicked out. Some families right there will get a little bit of a nice present. They got to touch the ball that some of these players were playing with. They're probably fangirling over there right now. It's a great opportunity for them.
And there's just that blatant push from NC State's center back there on the Duke player, so sets them up nicely with a free kick opportunity.
Now pushing it back up. There goes Duke. State now regains possession, but they're back in their end. They need to try to defend right now.
Yeah, NC State with a clearance out of bounds for a Duke throw-in from number 3. I believe that's Lee, if I'm not mistaken, for Duke.
State will now lob it all the way back to the middle right there. Trying to intercept that ball was number 9. That is Manai. Manai was really trying to get that ball right there to the front of the net. Duke almost had possession. Bauer just misses it. It's still in play. And they kick it back, and Bauer with a little bit of a nice save. That was not going to hit the net no matter what, but still he'll get credit for that save.
Exactly. That was a great effort there from Bauer to get back on his feet to make that save there. Don't really think that shot would have ended in the back of the net, maybe on that side netting there, maybe not in the goal.
Duke will now carry it back in at the sideline, and a little bit of a nice slide play to keep that ball in. Didn't exactly work, though, towards their favor with now 10 minutes left to go in here in this half. Strategies being discussed right here among the players. Really great leadership, like we talked about with DiSerafino.
Yes, DiSerafino has been very good today with his leadership. Being a senior presence on this team is important, especially for these younger guys to get a feel of what to expect.
And that ball goes out, hits a bleacher right there. A little bit of a scary situation.
Yes, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens within these next 9 minutes. We're hoping for a goal for NC State. The ref seems to allow play to go forward there on a slight push down from Duke on an NC State counterattack.
Duke now retains it. State tried to get it, and they do.
That was a great effort there from DiSerafino to get a foot on that ball to prevent anything else from happening for Duke.
State will now shove it back up and is just driven wide.
Seemed to maybe have hit the head of number 9, but just couldn't get that play down to his feet, kind of skimmed over the top of his head.
A little bit of a nice footwork play right there by NC State. Now driven back up. There goes Dove. Dove was our guy. There goes Dove driving up the side. Dove now carrying it through the middle. Great footwork to get there to the front with the tip and off the crossbar.
That looked like that was potentially barred down. I don't know what was going on there. Just must have bounced it right out. But great effort there from Dove. Honestly, that was some very speedy play there to get that ball back.
Visible frustration right there by Dove, and I would be too. That was an amazing opportunity right there, and it ended up going to hit the crossbar as the ball goes out with about 8:10 left to go here. Zach Salway alongside Tyler Counts to bring you today's live coverage between these two very good teams right now. Gallagher coming off right now alongside Jesse Ball. Two guys that have been performing exceptionally well in today's game. State now has an opportunity to carry it forward.
Just like to mention that number 4, the freshman to Serafino, Drew, came back onto the pitch for these potential next 8 minutes, and he has the ball right now.
Wearing a headband too, unless my vision is blind.
No, I believe he is wearing a headband.
Okay. So once again, my fashion senses are on fleek. So carrying it through through the middle right now. There goes Duke.
Great effort there from number 8 to go and attack that ball. That was a poor pass from number 9, trying to get there to Dove. Maybe get something happening again for NC State's team.
Duke now has an opportunity to make something happen. Duke lobs it. There goes an open man, and number 20s facing off against each other, and the shot goes just wide. Great shot opportunity right there.
And it looks like it might have taken a deflection off an NC State player as the line judge is signaling for a corner kick.
Not many corners have been taken today, Tyler. There's been a few, but not that much. How important are corner kicks in terms in this sport just of creating opportunities?
I value corners at a very high rate, to be fully honest with you. They're very crucial in potentially getting a ball in the net, especially off a nice header. It allows for also defenders who don't get the opportunity to score
Duke
that
with
often.
an opportunity. Barrow with the save. That was scary. That might have gone in, and State would have had their first true loss of the year.
I mean, I think NC State should be very content with a draw because it means that they would not have a loss. And that's an offsides call from the line judge over there.
And likewise, it may be better to take a draw than a loss, but it's also not as good to take a draw if you can get the win.
Exactly. 3 points is better than 1 point, which you'd get for the draw, 3 for the win. But any points is better than nothing with a loss.
With 5:55 left to go, we'll see how many more minutes the refs want to give these guys after regulation time is up. They usually do about 2 to 3 minutes depending on how they feel the game is going.
Those 2 minutes will be very crucial to this game. In professional soccer, we see a lot of goals scored within those stoppage time opportunities. Just like a final little push there.
State now has an opportunity to make something happen, and they carry it through the middle. There goes Dove. Dove is our guy. Dove goes through the middle to DeVroer, and just over the net. Even the personal trainer over there was getting a little bit into it.
Yes, that was a great cross from Dove, and a nice attempt there for the header. Don't know if it necessarily went over the bar just beside the goal, but it did definitely have the goalie on his feet there. That should have been in the back of the net, in my opinion.
Ball lobbed out. There goes State. With a quick shot, and
that is a goal!
Really great shot right there from State. I'm not sure what number that was, Tyler.
Honestly, right now, can't tell. I'm thinking that came from, seeing the guy getting the high fives over there, is number 11 for NC State.
And if that's the case, that'll be his second goal of the game here, Tyler.
I think that second goal might be putting him over the edge for player of the game over Dove. That's just 2 great opportunities there seized to give State the lead.
So State might actually leave here today with the W.
And a late tackle there from NC State is going to leave us with a Duke free kick in a dangerous position.
So that is his second goal of the game. That will be verified. That was Jeremy Twitt. A really great shot from him. And now taking this free kick right now for Duke will be number 7, Avery Herman. Herman with the shot, and a great save by Bauer.
Yes.
Really good save.
It was an excellent job from Bauer there to make sure he got his hands on the ball. Sent straight to the keeper there by number 7 from Duke. Don't necessarily think that's what he was hoping to do, but great job by NC State's keeper there.
There's the RAR. Really great job right there by Duke to apply defense.
A careless tackle there from Duke leads to an NC State free kick here. Duke, I think, is starting to feel some pressure and a lot of frustration now as this game is beginning to come to a close with about 3 minutes left to go in the game, or at leleast at regular time.
State will lob it back up. Handling it now is State with the shot, and it's blocked right there by the Duke defenseman. Play is stopped once again. Seems like it was a little bit of a holding call right there. So Duke will have an opportunity to do the kickoff. They're scrambling right now with about 2:20 left to go here in the half. And they want to. They don't want this loss. State's about to go 2-0-2 on the year. Barr just kind of chucks it. Durar now has it.
This seems to be a potential stoppage in play, or just a foul in general there on that clipping. I think it's Duke's Lee over there, hit him in the shin.
That is Jeffrey Lee, who had a little bit of an injured leg right there.
And not to discredit Duke at all, but Jeffrey Lee's had an excellent game there on defense. Just some miscommunications led to those 2 goals. He, I think, has probably been Duke's best player today.
Lob back in. Every single NC State player is centered in that one area, as Duke has 3 guys remaining towards the middle of the field. There goes BJ James.
Yeah, I can see NC State right now playing very defensive, maybe a little park the bus situation this next 2 minutes of game time here in the second half to just prevent any opportunity for
Dub
Duke
with
to
the
score.
interception, and there goes State, and ball still retained in the State end. They're trying to get it out, and they can't. And now rushing forward, there goes State.
And there
State.
is
There's
Dove.
Dove. Dove rushing up through the middle, and a great slide tackle there by James. BJ James with an amazing play once again, and that's exactly what these guys got to do. They can't read too much into, the conditions, the players. They just got to make plays. And now carrying it back into State, and another great tackle, and that was a trip. That looked like it hurt.
And that was a dangerous tackle there from number 24 with Duke, and that's going to be a straight yellow card from the official. Came in from the back, maybe little spikes up there. Very dangerous play. Shows the frustration there from Duke.
Will be a free kick here for State. With about 20 seconds to go here. So State will get the W here.
I believe the free kick is being taken by number 16 if they get the opportunity to get that free kick off today. About 10 seconds left to go in the game.
Be Harris. Harris with the shot goes over, but I don't think it matters. With 3 seconds left on the clock, this game is all but over. It looks like there'll be a little bit more time here that the refs will be adding.
I think the ref is throwing up one finger there, maybe signaling for about a minute left of stoppage time to give maybe Duke one last opportunity to score.
It only takes about maybe 30 seconds to drive up the field, so it's interesting to see what happens. Whistle blown. It will be a goal kick. BJ James will take that. BJ James has been that guy to lob it up the field all day. He's been very consistent. NC State will still retain possession. So again here, Tyler, this game is pretty much done. A little bit of miskick. There goes Dove. Will Dove get a goal? And just wide. But that was clear past Verissimo. And that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. Final score here from Upper Method Field, 2-1 in favor of NC State over Duke. An exciting last 5-minute goal there by NC State. Puts them on top, gets them their second win of the year here, Tyler. Just talk about some of your favorite things you've seen from today.
Honestly, just the effort shown by NC State here today, especially from Skylar Dove. His effort and tenacity out there on the side, on the right wing was very crucial for this win. And also just from 2 strong goals from number 11 today. Second one was beautiful, and the first one was also amazing. It was just overall a great game, great confidence booster for this team as they go on through the rest of the season.
It's been a great one for sure here today, Tyler, and we want to thank you for joining us here today on PackTV. We really want to thank you for watching today's game. Zach Sola here alongside Tyler Counts. Be sure to tune in for next week's NC State soccer game. More information can be found on their website, or you can always tune in to us here on PackTV at Into the Pack on Twitter, and of course on Instagram, PackTV. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us today for today's incredible match between NC State and Duke, and we'll see you next time. We want to thank you for joining us back here on PackTV. Zach Solai alongside Tyler Counts. We ended our our previous after the game, we forgot to talk about the Wolfpack Outfitters Player of the Game here, Tyler. And now, as much as we love Skylar Dove, we think the Player of the Game has to go to Jeremy Twitt with 2 goals today. An amazing performance by him being able to put NC State on top in terms of the point department. Tyler, talk about Twitt.
You know, Twitt just executed great today on the in the attacking third. 2 great shots on goal. I think probably maybe two of the few shots that we actually had on target today for NC State soccer, and it was just wonderful to see him have this opportunity today to go get 2 goals. Wish we could have seen a hat trick from him. That would have been wonderful for a 3-1 win, but I think we can take a 2-1 win here.
It's going to be an outstanding one for sure, and this is going to have a lot of momentum going into next week. So just to recap, our Wolfpack Outfitters Player of the Game is Jeremy Twitt. Now we want to thank you for tuning in here at PackTV to join us right here to watch the live game between NC State Soccer and Duke Soccer. We will see you next time.